I did engineering from the Kodamangalam Engineering College in 1965 and took the examination in 1966. By the time the personality test was held and I joined the service, it was 1967. In those days, there were very few persons with engineering background coming into civil services because there was no engineering subject except probably one which one could offer. I therefore had opted for history, both European history and British history, and also for geography, a lower paper for the other services and higher paper for IAS and IFS. Besides the 4 papers, we also had one general essay, general knowledge, and general English papers. And in those days, there was no option to write in more than one language. So we all wrote the examination in English. Now that is not the case. There are mains and prelims separately, and those who qualify in prelims only come for the mains, and those who qualify in the mains are called to the interview. They don't really call it interview, it's known as personality test. And things are to that extent different now because there is a common examination for all civil service aspirants, and depending upon the rank the candidates obtain and also depending upon the preference they give, the service is allotted, and to some extent the cadre also is taken into account. But as I said, even though foreign service has got a slightly higher scale even now, there are many people who prefer to stay back in India and therefore prefer to go for either Indian police service or Indian income tax, Indian revenue service. That is the background. But the examination pattern had changed some years back. Therefore, there will be very few people who would have written the kind of examination which people in my generation that year did. But there are many things which are still common. Preparations are common then and now in many aspects. After I was allotted, after the training in the National Academy of Administration in Mussoorie in UP, now in Uttarakhand, I was allotted to the Bihar cadre, where I was under training for another year. Then in junior scale for 2 years, first as a subdivisional officer, like a sub-collector in Kerala or many other southern states, and then as undersecretary in the secretariat before I got promotion to the senior scale of the IAS. I was collector in 2 different districts and also chairman of the Agriculture Marketing Board before I went to Government of India as deputy secretary and then as director in the Ministry of Commerce. Then again I came back to Bihar, where I was secretary and commissioner in a number of different departments for 6 years before getting back to Government of India as joint secretary in what was then known as Department of Electronics, the same as Department of IT now. After finishing 5 years there, I worked as a resident commissioner for Bihar in Delhi for some time before I was made additional secretary in Ministry of Environment, there itself as special secretary. And then I moved to Civil Aviation Ministry as secretary. As Civil Aviation Secretary, I was also chairman Air India. After retirement in 2004, I was made a member of the Union Public Service Commission. And as member of the Union Public Service Commission, I was chairman of the selection board, which used to conduct the personality test every year.